Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is a beautifully rainy Tuesday here, the perfect kind of weather to sit back, grab a warm cup of coffee, and dive deep into the messy, complicated, and utterly fascinating lives of our favorite Fairmont Crest residents. Today, we need to talk about a storyline that has been quietly brewing in the background and is finally starting to boil over in the most psychological way possible. I have been thinking a lot about Nicole Dupree lately, and I cannot help but feel that we are witnessing one of the most profound emotional unravelings on the show right now. For the longest time, Nicole has projected this image of a woman who has it all together, someone who is logically navigating her love life and making rational choices. She thought her biggest problem was simply choosing between Kiel and Carlton. It seemed like a standard love triangle, right? But if you ask me, the writers have been planting seeds for months that Nicole's heart is anchored in a past she refuses to acknowledge. And guys, that anchor just got violently yanked. It all started to crack when Nicole found out about Ted and Shanice. We all know Ted and Shanice have been getting closer, especially after Derek's tragic death. But there is a massive difference between knowing your ex is casually dating someone and realizing they have crossed the threshold into being deeply, genuinely in love. When Nicole discovered that Ted and Shanice had reached this profound stage of commitment, her reaction was telling, to say the least. I was watching her face during that realization, and there was this microscopic moment where the breath just seemed to leave her body. She was genuinely shocked. And I keep asking myself, why was she so surprised? Did she subconsciously believe that Ted would always keep a light on for her? This is where Kiel comes into the picture, and I have to say, I am gaining a massive amount of respect for him. Kiel isn't just some oblivious new boyfriend. He is incredibly perceptive. He was standing right there, and he caught that fleeting look of devastation on Nicole's face. He saw the exact moment her emotional walls flickered. And instead of throwing a jealous fit or acting insecure, he did something so much more powerful. He confronted her with a question that I think is going to define Nicole's entire character arc for the rest of the season. Kiel looked at her and asked point blank, if she was simply mourning the past, regretting the end of her marriage to Ted, or if a part of her was still actively hoping for a reunion. Just let the weight of that question sink in for a second. It is one thing to feel nostalgic for a past love. It is an entirely different beast to realize you are holding a space open for them in your future. And the most damning part of this entire interaction, Nicole could not answer him. She froze. That silence spoke volumes. If you are truly over someone, you can immediately say, "No, I love you. That's in the past." But Nicole couldn't do it. I honestly think that inability to answer Kiel was the exact moment Nicole finally woke up to her own reality. She has been trying so hard to move forward, to build a new life, to prove to everyone, and maybe mostly to herself, that she has stepped out of Ted's shadow. But that silence forced her to realize that despite all her efforts to move on, the emotional tether to Ted has never truly been severed. It is still there, humming beneath the surface, influencing every decision she makes. This brings us to the massive bombshell regarding Carlton. We all knew Nicole and Carlton had a complicated dynamic, but she recently went to Vanessa to drop a massive confession. Nicole admitted that she has been doing a lot of soul searching about the absolute chaos of her romantic life. She told Vanessa that she and Carlton have reached a new understanding, and she dropped the hammer. She has decided to proceed with a divorce from Carlton. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, wait, she's divorcing Carlton to run straight back into Ted's arms? But I really don't think it is that simple. The truth might be far more complex than it appears on the surface. Nicole explicitly told Vanessa that she cannot continue her marriage with Carlton simply because she is terrified of starting over. Think about how tragic that is. She was holding on to a marriage, holding on to Carlton, not out of burning passion or undeniable love, but out of fear. Carlton was a safety net. He was a way to avoid standing alone in the dark. Divorcing him isn't a declaration that she is going to go break up Ted and Shanice. It is a declaration that she refuses to live a life governed by hesitation and fear anymore. It is about stopping the cycle of half-hearted commitments. And I have to point out how brilliant it is that Nicole chose Vanessa as her confidant for this. Vanessa is currently drowning in her own anxiety over Joey Armstrong's criminal ties and the looming threat of the Impaler. Yet here is Nicole pouring her heart out to her. Vanessa, being the grounded, albeit currently frantic woman she is, didn't just nod and offer empty platitudes. She looked at Nicole and asked the only question that matters. What do you really want? That question, what does Nicole really want, is the crux of this entire storyline. It is fascinating how the writers are using Kiel and Vanessa as two sides of the same coin for Nicole's development. Kiel is the one who forced Nicole to look at her messy, unresolved feelings, while Vanessa is the one Nicole trusts enough to share her definitive actions with. Divorcing Carlton is just the first step. It is the clearing of the deck. It frees her from the limbo of indecision, but it doesn't automatically give her the answer to Vanessa's question. I keep coming back to the idea of Kiel acting as a mirror for Nicole. He isn't giving her ultimatums. He isn't demanding she choose him right this second. By stepping back and asking her to evaluate her feelings for Ted, Kiel is forcing Nicole to be honest with herself. He knows that if he pushes her into a relationship now, he will always be competing with a ghost. And Kiel respects himself too much to be a placeholder. This aligns so perfectly with how Nicole previously sought out Danny for relationship advice. Nicole has been wandering around Fairmont Crest looking for someone to tell her what to do, but Kiel is holding up a mirror and telling her she is the only one who can make the call. The closer Nicole gets to Kiel, the more she realizes how much unresolved baggage she is carrying regarding Ted. It is a terrifying paradox. Kiel's emotional availability is highlighting Nicole's emotional unavailability. The central conflict right now isn't a simple choice between Kiel and Carlton or even Kiel and Ted. The real conflict is Nicole versus herself. She has to dig deep into her own psyche and figure out if she genuinely wants to build a brand new foundation with Kiel, or if she is going to spend the rest of her life looking over her shoulder at the life she used to have with Ted. I can't help but feel that this is building toward a massive confrontation, either internally for Nicole or externally with Ted. Imagine the tension if Ted finds out that Nicole divorced Carlton right after realizing how serious he is with Shanice. Ted is already fiercely protective of Shanice, and he has crossed boundaries with Nicole before by asking intrusive questions about her love life. If he senses that Nicole is suddenly available and emotionally raw, how is he going to react? Will his own unresolved feelings flare up, or will he double down on his commitment to Shanice? There is something about this whole situation that just sits heavy with me. It is so incredibly human to hold on to the wrong person because you are scared of the void. We have all seen people stay in relationships long past their expiration date just because the thought of being alone is too daunting. Nicole has been doing exactly that. But now the safety net is gone. She has initiated the divorce. She is standing on the edge of the cliff, and Kial is waiting to see if she will jump toward him or if she will keep staring back at the path she walked with Ted. Perhaps I am overthinking this, but what if Nicole's realization comes too late? What if, by the time she figures out what she truly wants, the people she wants are no longer willing to wait? Kial has been patient, but a man can only act as a mirror for so long before he gets tired of looking at someone else's reflection. And Ted is actively planning a future, vacations, and a whole new life with Shanice. Nicole is running out of time to figure out her own heart. So I leave it to you guys. What do you think is really going on in Nicole's head? Is she harboring a secret, desperate hope that Ted will leave Shanice for her? Or is she finally doing the hard, painful work of letting go of her past so she can truly embrace a future with Kial? I could be totally wrong, but I have a sinking feeling that before Nicole can find her happy ending, she is going to have to walk through a lot more emotional fire. Let me know your theories down below, because I have a feeling this love triangle, or should I say love square, is about to get a whole lot more complicated